Check,
Thank
check,
you.
one, two,
Thank you.
1, 2. For the people that's going to watch this on the playback, you're with your host, Son of a Jones, one half of Envy Online. And as you know, on our platform, we cover sports, hip hop, and fashion. But today I have a special interview. I have the pleasure of talking with an artist from the UK. I'm sitting with Craig Dyer. Craig, how is it going, man?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm doing very good, man. I'm doing very
Good, good.
good. So for the people that's going to watch this on the playback, usually we do a lot of underground hip hop. So the context for this interview, the reason why I reached out to Craig, because he actually got me inspired a while ago. So I'll lay some context down before I start asking questions.
Okay.
So back in 2024, last year, I deleted Tidal, the streaming app, off of my phone because pretty much it was taking up a lot of memory. So once I deleted Tidal off of my phone, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of streaming. I'm going to go back to buying the art. I'm going to go back to supporting the artists. And I think I said that out loud in my phone because as soon as I hit the Instagram app, my phone heard me and
Yeah.
brought up an app. You know how the iPhone is, it's spying on
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
like I feel like a conspiracy theorist, but it brought up an ad for bars over BS. I swear
Yeah.
to God. I was like, that's weird. I was just thinking about like I want to buy some music. So I clicked on the app and I think I told this story before, but I just fell down a rabbit hole of seeing a whole bunch of dope art and a whole bunch of dope artists. And the first project that I brought as a physical copy is the painting behind you that has to do with
Yeah.
this project.
This one.
Yep. For the people that can see that and see
Yeah.
me, this is an artist by the name of Spodo and Wavy. They did it, but Craig Dyer illustrated the artwork on it, and that really caught my eye. So from there, I just started pretty much going back to buying and supporting the artist and the art in general. So that's the context of me being able to talk to a dope artist, a dope illustrator, and the good brother Craig Dyer from the UK.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh man. So first question, and I know
Yeah.
offline we kind of DM back and forth. And I know you do art for all things, not just hip hop, but you do art for a multitude of things. But just for the specific of this interview, I'm gonna blend in and out of some hip hop topics to do with art.
Hmm.
So how did you get affiliated or started doing work for the people over at Bars Over BS? Because you've done a lot of projects over there.
Yeah, I work directly with musician, and then it's just kind of potluck if they come out on bars over BS. I started just painting musicians that I liked originally during like about 2018, 2019. I just started painting musicians that I was listening to, which were like Eddie Kane was one of them, West Side Gun. West Side Gun ended up asking for a painting of mine, so I sent it over to him, and then it kind of just
You
snowballed from there.
you done hit lightning in a bottle with that one, man. Because right now,
Yeah,
West Side Gun
yeah,
and Eddie Kane on the underground, they're killing the underground.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's dope to
So
hear from.
I did a painting for Eddie Kane originally before I did him a cover. I did one for Ty Farris. We did a print drop on Bars Over BS. It was half Ty Farris's face, half a skull, and then like other things in the painting. And that's kind of,
Is it
and
this
then
or
I kind
no?
of, no, no, not that
Okay.
one. It didn't become a cover, it was just a print drop that we did. So I kind of knew about all the Walkers from an early days, to be honest. And I spoke to Spoda quite often back then, but then we never did a cover. And then one day he just asked me to do the cover. Well, Wavy asked me to do the cover. Um, but yeah, the ones that come out on Bars Over BS are kind of the artists going to Bars Over BS and saying, this is what project we've got, this is what art we've got. And I just so happen to have had quite a lot of artwork drop over there.
That's dope. That's dope. So now I'm gonna blend in some questions with hip hop because I feel like
Hmm.
what you do directly correlates within hip hop, the art part. So one
Yeah,
of the important elements of hip hop is graffiti, as you know.
yeah.
So salute the cornbread, who's documented as one of the few first founding fathers of graffiti out of Philadelphia. I know graffiti is different from art illustration, but
Hmm.
it intertwines a little bit.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
for you as a person growing up, when did you start getting interested in art overall? Doesn't have to be graffiti, but just in general as artwork.
Yeah, I've just kind of always done it. I can't even remember when I started, if that makes sense. I've just always drawn. Even as a kid, I would draw in, and all the way through school, I was the person that did artwork. And I always painted musicians and films that I liked and stuff like that. Like I'd be walking, I was like 12, 13 years old, walking around with my art folder, and it had Lox's Money, Power, Respect sketch that I'd drawn and
Ah,
stuff like that. It's just always been something that I did. It's like as soon as I got into hip hop music when I was about 10, I think, 10 or 11, and they've always just kind of been the same thing. I've always drawn that, or one of my art projects at school, I drew Juice film cover, and it's just always been like hip hop and films and art's always kind of entwined together.
that's interesting to hear. If you don't mind me asking your age, because I do this often when I talk. So I'm 38
Yeah,
years old. Are you around the same age as me, younger or older?
41.
Okay, so we're in the same age group, a few
Yeah,
years
yeah,
apart. So yeah,
yeah,
when you were saying juice and stuff like that, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Just going off of that, just off the top of my head, what were some of the early films that you can remember that inspired you in the late '80s, pretty much early '90s around?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Juice, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. I love Dark Blade films, even though they're not that genre. Colours, absolutely love the Colours film. I've always into them. I actually knew Tupac as an actor before I knew him as a musician.
Hmm.
So I got into Tupac's films like Juice, Above the Rim, and then I realised he was a musician a bit further down the line with me being a bit young at the time.
So growing up, you said you've always done it, but there comes a point because like I have family members who drew, and
Yeah,
sometimes it becomes a hobby for them and they put it down and come back
yeah, yeah.
later. But for you growing up, when did you say in your head, "Yo, I'm pretty good at this. I might want to pursue a career"? Or did you even know at that time that there could be a career in drawing? Because that's the other part I know you probably
No,
heard of.
probably not.
Oh, put that pen
Yeah,
down. You ain't gonna make no money off of that.
yeah, yeah. Probably didn't think I was ever going to do it, to be honest. I just was doing, like I say, I was doing paintings that I liked. So I was just doing artwork that I thought I wanted to do and hang up in my own house. Um, and like for a while, I was only doing like 5, 6 paintings a year, something like that. Just ones that I wanted to do at the time. And then when like West Side Gun and all the underground started coming back out, and I was listening to all that and going down the rabbit hole, Crime Apple, Vic Spencer, I just started painting again. It just inspired me to start painting again. And then through Instagram and what have you, it just kind of snowballed. I just started painting more, the stuff that I was liking, and eventually it became cover artwork.
That's dope, man. For hip hop, I remember growing up in the '90s, like the artwork was revered. I remember buying cassette albums and CDs and used to get it, and
Yeah,
even with the magazines, so forth, you used to get it and you would want to read the thank yous before you popped it in. You want to see what
yeah, yeah.
pictures and what kind of, if somebody did an illustration and so forth before you even popped a CD or cassette tape in. Do you remember for you growing up, what was one of the first hip hop albums that you brought that the artwork stuck out to you and you was like, yo, this is pretty dope?
There's been quite a few over the years. Das FX always had good album covers. Organized Confusion always had good album covers. The first album I actually bought was Street Fighter soundtrack, but it weren't because of the artwork. Just because I love the film. But then even getting older, as I was getting older, stuff like Action Bronson's Dr. Lecter cover, I got the album based on that. I used to I'm a bit like you, where I just, if I didn't know the musician, I would buy it based on the album cover.
Hmm.
So the album cover was quite important. Like Flatbush Zombies, Laced Odyssey album, I bought that based on the album cover. Yeah, even West Side Gun. I got into West Side Gun because of the Fly God album cover. So I kept seeing Fly God do the rounds, and I thought that cover's so good that I want to check it out, see what it is, and ended up going down that rabbit hole and finding all that music. But yeah, I've always based my So if I didn't already know the musician, I've always based it on the cover. So I'd go into our store with HMV. So I'd go into HMV, go through all albums, and just pick it on cover. No Limit, or No Limit Records albums. I bought them based on covers originally. So yeah, they're probably the standout ones when I was a bit younger. The Pen and Pixel covers.
You brought up West Side Guns, and I appreciate that because I'm from upstate New York. Now he's from the western part. I'm from a few hours away, but it's all upstate New York. And he's one of the most artistic persons outside of music, from the way he dresses to the album covers and so forth. So when you talked about seeing a project Fly God and so forth, what artistically stuck out to you? Because I know artists see things from a different point of view than non-geniuses. I'm gonna call us non-geniuses because I think you guys think with the left side of your brain a little bit more on the artistic side. So from your genius side, from being an artist, what stuck out to you from that?
It was just everything about it, the colours, how like bold the artwork was, the thorns around the head, the blood rolling down the head. It was just everything about it. It just looked grimy. It looked raw. It looked like this is going to be something you want to listen to. It just stood out. It was just like it caught your eye. And like I say, I went straight onto YouTube as soon as I saw that cover because it was doing the rounds on, like when it first dropped. I went straight onto YouTube, put him in, and just started going from there. And the Don't Get Scared Now cover, I loved that one that he did as well.
Do you got a favorite West Side Gun song?
Probably Mr. T. I like The Cow as well. The Cow, but Conway kind of steals that one. But yeah, Mr. T, The Cow.
You said Conway steals it? You say Conway gets him on that?
Yeah,
that's dope.
It's unreal on that. Yeah.
That's dope. Getting back to the artwork.
Yeah.
What goes into your creative process when you're doing an illustration? And it doesn't have to just be with an artist. Just you sketching out the thought process. What goes into your creative process when you decide to put together a masterpiece?
Yeah. If I'm deciding, I kind of just try and get a concept. If sometimes the musician might have a bit of an idea what he wants, or a lot of an idea what he wants. Otherwise, I do kind of not steal ideas, but get a lot of ideas from like 90s things and 80s things that I grew up on. That is quite a lot of inspiration. And then if they give me a title that I can kind of work around, little bits of inspiration, then I just go from there. Sometimes I'll sketch it up on a pad first with just pen and paper and just send it over to them, see if they like what direction I'm going in. Sometimes I'll just go straight at it and start painting it straight away.
Do you think the use of technology makes your job easier or harder? Do you like the old school method of putting together illustrations, or do you like the fact that now we have the Adobe products and so forth to kind of assist or bring illustrations to life?
I don't really do much on that side of things, to be fair. I do literally everything on Canvas, and then when I'm running it through my computer, all I add is the parental advisory logo. And then on the back, I'll have the track list. But other than that, it pretty much is all my own art. It is all the old school way. And then I just run it through the computer to finish it off, basically, make it look like the real deal. But the technology like the technology of Instagram and stuff like that, I wouldn't have got to where I am without it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. Instagram is bringing everybody together, all creatives. So you talked about referencing 80s and 90s things in your art. What is it from that era that inspires you? And it doesn't all have to be hip hop. It could just be in general.
Yeah, I think it's just because it was my childhood, basically, what I grew up on. It was probably the peak era for music and films and things like that. Like 90s hip hop was like absolutely amazing that we grew up on. I think we've got the best of both worlds because we had that, and now we've got this.
Say it again, my brother. Well. Say it again.
So yeah, I think because we've got like we had that, and now we've got this, and it's just the best time to pull from, really. So in my opinion, I grew up on it. Other people might think differently, who are a bit younger or a bit older. But yeah, there's just so much to pull from and so many memories to pull from that it just kind of happens automatically.
I definitely agree with you there. I have no argument with that. So I think I read your bio and it said tattoos. You do tattoos as well, or
No,
is that no?
no, don't do tattoos. No,
Gotcha.
no.
Because I know some artists transition to learning how to tattoo and so forth. Is there a piece of art in your head that you haven't brought to life that you would like to bring to life?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've been speaking to a musician recently about like I think it might be an Iron Maiden cover, with this skeleton and he's holding the flag, and I've always thought it was dope. Don't know any Iron Maiden music, never listened to them in my life, but I just like that particular cover, and I would really like to recreate it at some point. So hopefully, I might get to do that at some point.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Now I'm gonna blend in some hip hop questions.
Hmm.
So I remember talking to you offline. Hip hop is global, and everybody knows that. Do you remember the first artist that you heard that made you fall in love with hip hop once it went global?
The first album I bought, the first time I discovered hip hop was the Street Fighter soundtrack. So I always kind of listened to music that had rappers in it, but it wasn't really hip hop. It was like dance music and stuff. But when I was about 10 or 11, I bought the Street Fighter soundtracks of the film, and it had like Nas on it, Farside on it, Craig Mack on it, Public Enemy,
Rest
and
in
that
peace to Craig Mack.
yeah, and it just opened my world to the music of hip hop, and the rest is history, I suppose. I just went from there. I started buying Nas albums, and then Coolio came out, bought Coolio's album, and it just kind of went from there.
Man.
Yeah.
So much respect to the UK and pretty much every place. Actually, I forgot to ask you this because I want to do my geography correct. Are you directly in the UK? Like geography wise, where are you located at? Just so I don't mix up.
I'm in the northern part of the UK, so I'm up north. I'm not like there's London. That's classed as down south. I'm up north, about 4 hours away from London.
Gotcha. So much respect to the UK and all places across seas, because I feel like they treat some of our artists better. There's seemed like to be a heavier appreciation for our culture across seas. How is the environment over there when you go to shows? And because I know they come over there often and do tours. What is the overall environment that you feel when our hip hop artists go over to London and to the UK?
Yeah, I love going to shows. I think it's very well received across Europe as well. From when I speak to musicians, I think Europe in general absolutely loves hip hop. But then when I go to a show and it's never a huge show, there's always a couple of hundred people in there, so you could be stood right at back and you still got a good view. I love everything about it, to be honest. It's just a really good environment, and what's quite strange is the last few shows I've gone to is people have started coming up to me, and I think that's very weird. Like people coming up to me saying, "Are you Craig Dyer?" And it's just
Craig Dyer's popping right now.
Yeah.
You popping out on them internet streets, man. That's what's up. That's
it's
dope.
Very strange. In fact, I went to Luca, a musician called Luca's gig in Sheffield, and his DJ, his producer is from LA, and his producer recognised me. So his producer came up to me and was like, "Are you Craig Dyer that did this artwork?" And I was like, yeah. So changed a lot from going to gigs a long time ago to it as now.
How does that feel for you? Do you feel sort of like a celebrity, or are you, depending on your mindset, sometimes people like to be humble. Yeah. But how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's flattering. It's still a bit surreal because with me being in the UK and all the musicians I do artwork for in the US, I'm kind of far removed from it, so I kind of half forget about some of the stuff that I do until I actually go to a show and get recognised or somebody mentions it. So I kind of forget about it a lot part of my life, and then going to a show and getting recognised, it still feels quite surreal that that's happening.
So I didn't ask you about this, but how supportive is your family and friends of your art career?
Yeah, my mum and dad absolutely love it. Yeah, they absolutely love when I do new stuff, and my dad's even got some of my vinyls. He don't listen to the music, but he just loves to have them. So he's even got some of the vinyls in his collection.
That's what's up. So I want to talk before I got a couple more questions. So I want to
Yeah,
talk underground hip hop. So
yeah,
there was a comic that made some remarks that I disagree with. And the comic name is Ari Spears. I don't know if you heard of Ari Spears.
no, no, no.
So he's a big comic over here in America. And he made some
Yeah,
comments about UK rappers. And I was like, that's not it, buddy. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, he pretty much said he doesn't like UK rappers. And I was like, I don't have a problem with UK rappers, because the first time I heard of UK rappers underground was when I was in high school back in 2003 or 4.
yeah,
And those UK rappers were affiliated with Dipset. Their name was SAS, Streets or Salute.
yeah, yeah. No, I've got some mixtapes by them. Yeah,
So when SAS came out and kind of broke through in a way, how did that hit the UK scene? I know how I felt over here. I was like, yo,
yeah.
who are these guys? They're talking crazy. They're talking the stuff we like in New York. When you first heard of UK underground artists breaking through mainstream, what did that do for the culture over there?
It did well at first. I kind of the comments by the guy. I know what he means in sense of some of the modern UK rappers aren't my type of thing, to be honest. But in the early days, we had some really good rappers, and even now, if you turn off the radio and go down the more underground side of things, there's still some great UK rappers. But I'm not into some of the mainstream ones. But yeah, when SAS first came out, I've got 2 of the mixtapes. I mainly discovered them through Dipset. I'm not going to pretend that I knew about them before. But yeah, I really enjoyed them mixtapes. They were really good.
And I appreciate hip hop being global because it allows us to have this conversation on
Yeah,
different sides of the globe, and for you to educate me. Because I remember asking you in the DM, can you educate me? And I think it's a perfect time now to put some of those artists out in the forefront that you like. Because it seemed like me and you have similar
yeah,
tastes in underground hip hop, at least. So for somebody
yeah.
like me, and I'll add some context. So I forgot the platform that I DM'd you that I said. Do you remember the platform I mentioned? I mentioned a certain platform. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
With Fat Beats. Fat Beats you mentioned.
Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna scroll up in this timeline. Grime Daily. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, yeah,
So
it rings a bell. Yeah,
okay, so for me, I discovered the UK artist that I'm paying attention through Grime Daily, GRM
yeah.
Daily. That's their platform.
Oh, Grind Daily. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, please forgive me.
yeah,
So for us over here, it's a perfect time for me to get educated and just ask you to put me on a game. Let me know some underground artists that we should be listening to over here on our side that you think is worth for us to do our research on.
from the UK.
Yeah, just in
From the
general.
UK
Yeah.
in general. Um, Action Figure 973. I'm doing a lot of work with him at the minute. So there
Hmm.
two of his covers in the background there. So this one here, the black one with the wrestling ring on, that's one of his covers that's coming out, and this one above it with the wave. He's doing some really good music. He's one of my favourites at the minute, along with Vega 7 the Ronin, who you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Storm, doing some really good music. Wolverine, who is the producer that works with Action Figure a lot. He's doing some really good beat tapes and collaborations. Let me just have a think. BCP, they're also affiliated with Action Figures label Astra. Know It All and the Pentagon. So there's a Know It All is from Queens, and he's doing a lot of music with his entourage called Pentagon, which is Patty Oncho from New Jersey, producer Zilly 900, all those guys that's affiliated with the Pentagon and Astra are really good.
You mentioned somebody in the DM, so I'm gonna bring him up. I think he's from the UK. You can tell me if not. You said Fly Hooligan.
The Fly Hooligan, really good UK rapper. Yeah, really good.
And you mentioned something. You said that's their version of Wu-Tang Clan. That he's in a group.
Yes. Yeah, he used to be in a group, so he was in a group under a different name, and the group were called Triple Darkness.
Okay.
And it's like that's like the UK's version, or was the UK's version of Wu-Tang. There was like 8-9 MCs in there, and all just going back and forth.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So I'm gonna use like an analogy. So like I think the DJ plays an important part in hip hop. But since like we're in this renaissance, I said this on my page, I think we're in a full blown renaissance for underground hip hop.
Yeah.
And that's everything. That's battle rap, that's freestyles, artists, artwork. And because I'm buying the music, I see the important part that the art plays into it. Do you feel in a way, do you feel like a responsibility on your side that now that it's going back to selling physical copies and people are buying vinyls? Like, do you feel like you're playing an important part, or do you like not look at it that way?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't, when I first started, I probably didn't. I just was trying to do my part and get a cover. But with how many I've done now, and I definitely feel like it's a big responsibility. I also don't work with musicians I don't think are good. And I think that's quite important. So if someone comes to me and I've never heard of them, I go away and listen to the music and I don't like it, it's not my thing, not my type of hip hop, I will say no.
Integrity.
So I do think
integrity. You're not just about a dollar. Sorry to cut in on what you're saying, but I think that's so dope and important. Because even for me on the media side, like in order for me to interview somebody, I have to be inspired. I'm just not going to interview you down the street because you got 20,000 YouTube views, and you know I don't take money. I don't take money from artists, so it has to be a genuine connection, and it's dope to hear that, man.
Yeah. I've always said I'm a fan first, so I'm a fan before anything. And so if I'm not a fan of the music, then I can't. But I do promo it a lot as well. I don't just do the artwork and disappear. I'll promo it a lot. So if I'm doing that, I need to like the music. And I do kind of think branding is important as well. So I want someone to see my cover and know, if they've not heard of the musician, that it's something that they're probably going to like. So if they like other stuff that I've done and they like other musicians I've worked with, to see my cover, I like them to know that that's the type of music they're going to be able to buy and rely on. I like them to see my cover and know that. So I do feel that responsibility, definitely.
That's what's up. Is there how do I frame this? With everything that you've done, because you've done quite a lot. I even saw somebody, I think I saw a clip on your page where you was getting voted for a graphic artist or artist of the year.
Yeah.
With all that you've done, do you think that there's another level to your career that you want to ascend to? And I know that's kind of asking a lot.
Yeah, I'd hope so, yeah. Like I've seen since the underground started using real artwork, I've seen certain I wouldn't say the mainstream artists, but borderline, like between the underground and mainstream
Yeah, they're
artists.
starting to bite. We could say that. We could say that they're starting
Yeah,
to bite.
starting to use real paintings and real artwork, and I'm thinking, get me involved in that.
Yo, most
like,
definitely.
like you see, for Alchemist and Mos Def's new album. It's got a painted cover, and I'm starting to see it a lot more in more popular artists that are still probably a little bit underground, but
Can I put this out there real quick? Shameless plug.
yeah.
Alchemist. I'm gonna put this clip out and I'm gonna tag you. But if you see this video clip somehow, I hope you work with Craig Dyer. Dope artist, man. Alchemist is on everything right now. So that's
Yeah.
dope that you're paying attention to that.
Yeah. So it's like all the musicians that I really like, I'm starting to see them using artwork as well. So I'm hoping that I absolutely love the musicians I work with as well. So I'm never gonna say that it's a stepping stone, because it's definitely not. But I do want
Respect.
some of that, some of them artists as well, because they're legends to me. Like Alchemist is an absolute legend to me. So hopefully I do get involved with some people like that at some point as well.
Now, hopefully, we're gonna speak that into the universe. We're gonna speak that into the universe. If you had an artist that you want to work with outside of Alchemist, who would you name?
I think Griselda is still there. Yeah, I've done a painting for. He's got one of my paintings, West Side Gun, but I never worked with him. So I think any of the three original Griselda members, Stove God. I really want to work with. I don't know if I'm saying the names right. Thick and Lungs, which is a new duo that's kind of doing the rounds on Twitter and Instagram at the minute.
Can you say
Really
the name
good
again?
duo. It's Thick, so it's PHIIK, and then Lungs, and they're really good. I wouldn't mind working with them. Rock Marciano, would really like to work with him.
Shout out to Long Island, Rock Marciano, man.
Yeah. Legend. Action Bronson. I know Action Bronson does a lot of his own work now, so that's probably not going to happen, but still a legend that I would have liked to work with. DJ Muggs. Probably some of the people that I wouldn't mind working with at some point who were in that higher bracket, I suppose.
That's dope. Outside of painting, because I know that doesn't consume your whole life, but it plays a big part. Outside of painting, what do you like to get into as a person?
I'm good at gym daily. I still play football, which soccer to you guys.
Okay.
I still do that once a week. I'm starting to feel injuries now, but I'm still trying to do it.
Hey man, we over 35. It comes with the territory, man.
Yeah. My back's hurting now for me. I played on Tuesday and my back's been hurting since. But yeah, I'm still trying to do that. So I just listen to music a lot, work out a lot, still play football. You know, just try and keep active and keep doing stuff.
So you talked about, I got like two more questions before. So you talked about how 90s pretty much was like the anthem to your life. Pretty much the way I'll frame it like that. And you mentioned Nas and some others. And you mentioned Nas from that Street Fighter album. He's one of my favorite album. He's one of my favorite artists too. So I got to shout out MC Search for putting him in a correct record deal. Salute to MC Search.
Yeah.
What's your favorite album from Nas?
See, people are going to hate me for this, but it was written. And that is because although Illmatic is a better album, it was written and was my introduction to Nas. So at the age I was, Illmatic was before I really listened to hip hop music. When I listened to that Street Fighter soundtrack and the first album I got from Nas, it was written, which I absolutely played it to death. So that's probably my favourite Nas album.
Can we talk a little hip hop? Can we talk a little imagery? Because you're an artist, you bring things to life.
Yeah.
Nas is great at bringing things to life. So what he brought to life on it was written is like a track. I think it is I Gave You Power. If I recall, he talked about giving a gun power. And not that I'm glorifying that, but just the way
Yeah.
he brings things to life is, again, this is why everybody
Yeah.
loves him. Second to none.
Yeah.
From Nas, and it doesn't have to be from It Is Written. What's your favorite track that he brought to life?
That's a good question. See, I still love, and it's probably because of the sample as well as the song, but I love Got Yourself a Gun. I love Made You Look. In fact, that whole album, the whole album was amazing. But I do love Got Yourself a Gun, and it's probably from the sample being off The Sopranos as well. But yeah, I absolutely love that one.
Mine's is Rewind. I don't know how he did it.
You know, that came to my mind way backwards. That came to my mind.
I don't know how he did that, but spitting a whole track backwards and making the story make sense.
Yeah, and the bullet goes back into the gun, that one.
The bullet hole close to the chest of a ninja. Can't say the N-word.
Yeah.
Now he's back to square one. He's screaming, shoot, don't please. I put my fifth back on my hip. It's like a VCR rewinding a clip. Like, that's just the imagery of that. Like I said, you artists, you rappers and graphic artists, you guys think with another part of your brain, man. Have you had your IQ tested, man?
Never. It's almost like it should have done a video for that song. Just for the song going backwards, then the video going backwards. It's almost like it should have done a video. If he has done a video, I never saw it.
I don't know if it's an official video. I think they had imagery for it. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I got to do my research. I don't know if it's an official video or not, but they got like imagery to it, but that's dope. So what is your favorite? And I don't mean to put this out there, but I got to ask you, because you done work with a lot of artists. What is your favorite piece that you put together without stepping on any toes?
That is an hard one. I'm going to go with this one. It's close because I've got some that haven't come out yet.
And is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one. For now, there's some that haven't come out yet. I've got a couple with action figure that haven't come out yet. That are really next level. But yeah, for now, I do think that's one of my best ones. This one that I've done with action figures also one of my best ones. But I have got some work coming out this year that is quite close to it.
Do you think you put out your best work yet?
Probably not, no.
So before we wrap this up, what can the art community or people in the underground hip hop expect for you later on throughout the year?
I've got probably about 20 covers already finished, ready to come out. So that's before the year's even before I even started painting this year, and I'm still painting every week. So I've got about 20 covers still to come out. I'm hoping to do. I've talked about coming across and doing a show in New York. Trying to make that happen. Hopefully I'll get to do that in late summer. I've been talking about it with Action Figure and Astra because I've got quite a lot of work with them. That's both come out and not come out yet. So I'm hoping I can get over, have some of my artwork on display, people perform. I'm hoping I can make that happen.
If you make it happen, man.
Yeah.
If you make it happen, let me get a DM and I'll drive over to Queens or wherever it's at. And
yeah. I'm hoping it can. I can't see why it can't, but obviously between countries trying to organise it, you never know. Gotcha. But I'm hoping I can make that happen. It's something I've talked about for a few years now, and I've nearly done it a couple of times in the past. And for certain reasons, it's not happened. I'm hoping it can make it happen because there's a lot of people out there that. It's one thing talking on the phone or text, but to actually meet people that you're working with, it's a different feeling, isn't it? So
yeah,
I'm hoping I can. I'm hoping I can bring that to life and make it happen.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So for the people that's gonna watch this on a playback, how could they get in contact with you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, I've mainly go through Instagram. I'm also on Twitter, X, whatever you now want to call it. And I do have a page dedicated to my artwork on Facebook, C Dyer Art and Design. Instagram, it's CD Ink Dyer. If you just put Craig Dyer in, it should bring me up. But yeah, most of my works come through the Instagram DMs. I'm always responding. I'm always looking in the other category as well to make sure I'm not missing any. That's probably the best way for now.
Gotcha. So Craig, man, I just want to first off say thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know it's
Yeah,
late where
thank you
you're
for
at in
asking.
the UK. I really appreciate you taking this time out to interview with me because, like I said at the beginning of the interview, we're in a renaissance of hip hop, and what you did is
Yeah,
inspiring. Like it literally made me research artists based off of you bringing these covers to life. So I
yeah,
definitely just want to. I know I said it 3 times, but thank you for the work that you provide to underground and hip hop,
appreciate
man.
it. Thank you.
It's definitely needed and it's definitely inspiring.
That's exactly what I want my art to do. That's exactly it. I want people to, like yourself, to go grab work based on it. Know when you don't know the musician and see the cover. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. So thank you for that.
Definitely. And to the artists out there, to the artists that he mentioned, the Alchemist, the West Side Guns, I'm gonna put this in the universe. This is a dope artist. Y'all need to work with him and make a masterpiece come to life. Craig, man, it's been a pleasure having you on my podcast. It's been a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you.
you. I definitely wish you well for the rest of 2005. And like I said, man, if you come to New York to do an art show, hit me up. I'll be there
Yeah,
front and center,
definitely.
man.
Definitely. Hopefully.
Gotcha. All right, Craig, man, I'm gonna let you go, man. Have a blessed night.
Thank you. You too, mate. Thank you.